heart rages around like an ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid.
Go, 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 Waynesville, go! Goes out here wide open, and an easy score.
See what is going on here. There's an air conditioner going next to me, so if it is loud, it is loud. Man, the first pitch down the middle is a strike. And I'm going to see if this is working real quick, so forgive me if I get some feedback here. Awesome, I'm working good. Second pitch is the ball. Third one down the line, that is away. That is ball number 2, 2-1 count. Once again, 3 innings, Jamboree style, so open batting. And that is strikeout number 1. Sorry for the late start. Had a little bit of delay here with the weather and some issues going on. This game can be watched on YouTube and MSHSAA TV. And we're going to have a hit batter on that. So first batter on base. Oh, what did I do? Out. And there we go. I think now we're good. Now we're all happy. Do have a runner on first after that hit batter. Young team for Waynesville here. Some new players. Again, Coach Malbach. That is ruled foul. And seeing what my quality is here. I'm hoping it's 1080. Second, can't hang on to it. She was safe the whole time. And can't quite get both the bases on here. I'll work on that for the next games. I'll get a camera with a wider angle. I do have a camera, but I'll try that. See how that goes. Do appreciate everyone joining me though today. I do have a wider camera, which I will try next time. And again, this can be viewed on MSHSAA TV and YouTube here. And I tell you what, it don't look the best. And I don't know why, but it could be going through window, it could be the net. It could be a bunch of things. 2-2 count, 1 out. Bulldogs in the background, that is fouled off. Batter is still in play. And again, foul back to the net just in front of us here. But you can catch probably most of these sports on MSHSAA TV, I believe is the plan. But if the quality doesn't improve, we are not going to have as much of this on MSHSAA TV. I know that's been an issue in the past. And this ball is foul. That will send the runner back to first again. Still 1 out. Runner on first. It was a rather warm day. Another foul ball. That is her 7th or 8th pitch in this inning here. Or this at bat. Only 3 innings, so in a perfect world, these can go quick. In a not perfect world, these won't go as quick. And she is going to be safe at first on that hit. We'll put runners on first and second for the Wildcats. Wildcats, when I talked to Coach Maubach, a team that they were not quite sure of. Both runners advance on that. And looks like the clouds or something has blocked the sun and has significantly cooled it off outside. This is foul down the first baseline. 1-1 count. I don't believe a ball is there we go. 1-1. Pitch down the middle. That is just off, it looks like, on the inside. Trying to get the feel for this a little bit. So far, doing a really good job of it. And with that, we are out of the inning. That is 2. Or did that bounce? Runner will advance. So it looked like it did hit the ground. I'll be able to check on the live stream here in a minute if it did hit the ground. Oh, it did bounce off the ground. I didn't see that at the beginning. Melvin Respress, the official behind the plate. Been officiating for many years. 0-1 count. And if we look up here, got ourselves a little visitor up there. A deer up there watching the game from up above. That is strike number 3, and we are done with the first half of the inning. And back here, first up for the Tigers, I don't have names and rosters, unfortunately. But I will have them for our first regular broadcast. Added a couple football broadcasts for the middle school. Those will be October 17th and September something there. But keep an eye on those. I'll have those updated on Allen Hilliard Sports on the YouTube. You can go to upcoming live streams, and there's a bunch of them. We got girls soccer added on there so far. Of course, do that every year. I'm not sure why this looks like this. I'm going to hopefully find out. 2-1 count. That is foul. Wait, is it off of? Nope, it is foul. Did not touch anybody. So that'll even it up. 2-2. Tigers in the orange, Cuba in the black and yellow. Raw is going to be in maroon. Swing and a strike. That is out number 1 for the Tigers. Good pitch by the Lady Wildcat pitcher. Doing an excellent job out there. This game will be re-uploaded for further viewing later. Actually, November at this rate. But you can still watch a live stream for free. If you become a member, you can watch pretty much every video, minus a few, as soon as it's uploaded on YouTube. Got some, of course, I do have some coaches interviews that I do wait till the game, like this Friday. I've got Coach Pitts from Camdenton. I got Coach Barkley from Waynesville for football. But generally, you could watch every video on YouTube. We have a hitter's count right here, 3-0, so you can really play around with this if you want to swing for the fences. And that's going to be a strike. Still not a dire situation yet. And this poor air conditioner next to me is not happy. That is gonna drop. So I could raise that a little bit. And that will result in a runner on base. That's going to be a single in the record books, but Jamboree's not really keeping track of that stuff a whole lot. Got the edge of the window there, but that ball going deep foul. Got our favorite administrator back in here again. And 0-1 count. Pitch is swung at, I believe tipped. That's a foul ball. And if you are in Rolla, check out the Lady Tigers there in the Rolla Jamboree over at the new basketball arena, which is very nice. And Tigers will advance on that pitch right there. I believe right now it's Washington and... Actually, I can't... Oh, it's Waynesville and Rolla, apparently. That ball is caught. That is going to be an out. Runner did not go anywhere, so that is out number 2. Following this, it'll be the Rolla Bulldogs and the Cuba Wildcats. So Waynesville up 19-13 in the first set over in Rolla. A very lovely camera view they have, which I probably would also have done. And we'll get rid of that glare for you here in just a little bit once that sun completely decides to go down over the mountains behind us. Then we'll let in some of that nice cool air for the day at least. 1-1. This is hit directly. That is caught. That is out number 3, so we're going into the second. We'll be back after word from our sponsors here with more Tiger softball. Top of the second, Cuba Wildcats up to bat first. Of course, they're always up to bat first. We have, oh, I think we got some people playing catch that can't be playing catch out there. Off in the distance there, he's telling them they have to be outside of the fence, I believe. Not like the old days. And that pitch is hard, but way out of the strike zone. That was against the wall. So both teams have had runners on base, and both teams have not converted on the runners. Cuba got the closest, but she was tagged out at home on the force out. And that'll bring up a 1-2 count now. Summer has not gone away yet. We still have some summer going, but it's going to cool down next week, thankfully. Friday night, we're going to have a wet football night to start the regular season. Carthage Tigers come to town, to Tiger Town, in a battle of the Cats. Tiger Cats. And this foul ball is nearly hitting the coach right between her legs. Still 3-2 count. Count loaded. And the Tigers pick up the first set in the Jamboree. We'll have a few Waynesville Lady Tigers broadcast also this year. Got a couple of them planned. I think Webb City's one of them, but I'm not 100% sure. I will have all the updated the next week or two here for everyone on Facebook, but you could always go to YouTube and see when the scheduled events are live, and those will most likely be the games I'm doing. They are subject to change as things do change. And that pitch just a little bit to the left. My left, anyway. Be her right. And foul ball, 1-1. Got a McDonald's cup that says collector's meal. I don't know what's collector about it. I think they're trying to get some bags gotten rid of. I think it's called the glass cups they have. We're going to look at some schedules here while we're in the softball mood. If I can, I'd really like to interview the Raleigh coach, but I don't know where he's at. And that is a strike, though. That is out number 1. Fast called strike. I'm sorry, that is out number 2. The first out did not go on the board. And another strike down the middle. Just as soon as I say we're going to look at some schedules. First of all, we'll look ahead at the Lady Tigers softball team. They're going to travel every Tuesday, basically. They'll be on the road. So, they're going to start with the Neosho Wildcats on September 3rd. Then they'll host Webb City on the 5th. We'll have that game live. Then they'll travel to Republic on the 10th, and they'll host Willard on the 12th. And then for the 13th, they will travel to Lakeway for a Waynesville rivalry there. The west end of Waynesville shares the Lakeway School District. And then another Frisco League opponent following the Vienna tournament, which they'll face a couple in there. They'll host Dixon on the 16th. We will not have that ball game. I have some prior plans already for that. Then they will travel to Parkview, a normal foe, I guess, for people that's familiar with them. Cuba has a runner on first after that. Then Carthage will come to town. Then they'll travel to Smith, Cotton, and Sedalia. So another long road trip there. Then a couple home games. Nixa and Rolla will come to town. Then the AA softball tournament on the 28th. And then the Kickapoo Chiefs will be on the road at Kickapoo. Nice facility there. And then the local rivalry, Lebanon, will come to town on the 3rd of October. Then the 7th, another Frisco League matchup. They're going to travel to Crocker, just down Highway 17. Another matchup not super common till recently. Then they'll have 2 games against Springfield at Glendale and at home against Central on the 10th. And then another 2 games in Springfield. They'll have Hillcrest versus Hillcrest. I'm not sure what that means, but we're going to take a look at what that means. That game in Rogersville, so that's one of those shootouts. Either way, we are going to take a break. We have an out. Still scoreless. Tigers up to bat. And finishing off the schedule will be a trip to Ozark and Bolivar on the 14th and 15th. That is going to be in bounds. Tigers will open up with a double. So we're going to start this inning. No outs, runner on second in scoring position. And then our next, it won't be our broadcast, but Tiger TV will be here Friday night. Before that, we want to thank all of our special sponsors that help us, our main sponsors. Of course, Security Bank of Pulaski County, the Dixon School District, and also Waynesville Youth Football. So that ball is foul, way out of play. But I definitely want to give a special thank you to all of them for supporting everything. And the Ozark Slunkers for supporting me this summer, and also for supporting some of the high school sports. I'll try to do some special things next year, or maybe this spring or something with that. We'll see what we can get worked on. Those are our main supporters here. If you'd like to be a main supporter, get a hold of me on Facebook. Just send me a message, or you can find my number pretty easily, or email me, Allen Hilliard Sports at Gmail. Runner will advance easily. Let's see, take a peek back here on MSHSAA TV, and the Bulldogs are currently on top of Waynesville, 13-9. Set number 2. And that ball will just be a long foul ball. So we're going to redo that again. It is a 2-2 count. Again, thank you for joining me this evening here. And don't forget, football's starting up soon. So Saturdays, we got some SEC football starting up. Of course, hopefully you're all an SEC fan, whoever you support. Got a couple Big 12 fans left. I'm not talking about BYU fans or any of them. Got a good share of Kansas fans still in Missouri. Another foul ball. But check us out, starting at about 9 a.m. every Saturday. We're going to have youth football from kindergarten all the way to 6th grade. We're going to be bringing you the best of the up-and-coming Waynesville Tigers. So one hit will score, and that's 3 fouls in a row. Runner sitting there in position, but not quite able to move through. And that'll put a second Tiger on base. Looked almost like a steal there, but not quite the steal. And the lights are coming on, getting a little brighter on the screen for you. And it is MSHSAA TV causing this blurriness, because the Roller broadcast looks just as blurry, so I'll just see what I do with football. We'll see what happens with all that. We got an 0-1 count. I believe you could watch this on Game Changer with also. And on the pass ball, the runner will score. Or will not score, but she will advance. Still a Tiger in scoring position. She's been there since the start of the inning. Still no outs. Big swing and a strike. That's 1-2. But if you've never been to a football game here at Waynesville, come on out opening night. It is a sight to see. If you're a Waynesville graduate, you will see many of your fellow Waynesville Tigers out here. Graduates going back many years. And rumor is there'll be a Rick Vernon sitting out there in the bleachers enjoying football. Of course, former Waynesville Tiger. That's a strikeout. That's the first out of the inning. Carl Wilking back coaching again. Assistant coach for the Waynesville Tigers. Member of that state championship team. And this thing is belted. That's down. We're going to have 1 run score. 2. And the third runner will stay. And just like that, we have a 2-0 ball game. I do have plans to have much better camera angles here, but 95 degrees today, it wouldn't have gone well. It didn't start well, but things are getting better. 18-15 in the second. Over in Rolla, second set. That is, I believe, out number 2, but sacrifice for the run. Will give the Tigers a third run on the board. Nope, that should be 3. Yes, it is 3 on the board. Took a minute for it to get on there, but 3-0, Tigers on top. I'm assuming they'll still bat in the bottom. I think there's going to be a 5-run limit possibly here on to keep time, because we still have 2 more games to go. Pitch down the middle. That is bobbled. And catcher's going to eventually catch up to it, but Tigers will get a runner on first again. They have 3 runs in this inning so far. Appreciate everyone for watching here, and I believe a hit batter on that. So runners on first and second. Appreciate everyone for joining us over here. Not 100% sure what happened with that, but I think she was hit. He was just checking on her. And back into the net. Good catch by the catcher on that to bring that in and throw it right back to the pitcher. There's 2 outs, so a force out at any base will end this inning. A hit deep in the green back there, though, will extend the inning. And I believe we have a runner score. Was she safe? She was safe. So first and second, runner on second didn't move. Runner on third did move. 4-0 Tigers. And that bad boy is belted. That's going to fall. We're going to have one come in, two. And runner on third. Tigers now 6-0. We're going to take a run rule here, so 6-0 lead here. We'll be back in work for all your football summaries, coaches interviews for this coming Friday night. I will probably be talking about the Tigers and Tigers matchup here at Waynesville. Always a pleasure talking to Guy Newcomb here, giving him some interviews and using some of his interviews there, a little trade-off to see some relevant stuff here. Second pitch is a out. First one is a 4-3 put out here. 2 more to go, and the Tigers will pick up a victory to start the season here in the Jamboree. No time limit, just the run rule and the 3 innings. And first one is a strike down the middle. I think that net's just really making my camera not happy because it did not look that terrible. 1-1 count. No one on base. And a close pitch. That is strike number 2. That was a zinger right there. And thank you for everyone for joining me. It's been a pleasure. Once again, catch all the Tiger home games here, minus a couple. The softball Tigers, anyway. I'll also be broadcasting all the away Tiger football games, along with some volleyball and a few other games, including some basketball, the Rolla tournament later this year, Route 66 shootout, some home games and away games. So I do appreciate all the support from everyone for those. If you'd like to add your support to that, once again, you can message me. You know how to get a hold of me. And just like that, that is out number 2. I do have a wider camera, so I'm going to work on that, get you a much better camera angle here. But right now, this is the best I have at the moment. But trust me, it will get better. So 1-1 count, 2 outs. And third to first, that will end this, our final score here. It's going to be a 6-0 final. Tigers will pick up the victory. Jamboree, and it looks like it's over in Rolla. That was a quick Jamboree. Oh, maybe not. Nope, I would say it's probably over. But looking at our football schedule here while we are waiting to start this inning, we do want to talk about the Tigers against the Tigers. We're going to start with Carthage at home on September 6th. Week 2, we'll travel to Republic. Week 3, we'll be back at home against the Willard Tigers. Week 4 will be on the road at Neosho. Week 5 will be home against Ozark. Week 6 will be on the road against Glendale. That is the 3rd year in a row we've been to Glendale. Just happens that way. Then week 7 will be hosting the Flying Nixa Eagles as they come in. So bottom of the 3rd. We are going to play all these innings out. And then Kickapoo will be at home on the 18th. And then the final regular season game will be at Lebanon, just down the road about 30 minutes. So we'll be bringing you Republic, Neosho, Glendale, and Lebanon, along with earlier coverage of the preseason Jamboree that we had. And we'll have postseason coverage depending on where the Tigers go. If we don't get Tiger football, it will be converted to something else. We got soccer, we got some other stuff. We're going to have a discussion out here. I think we're having a pitching lesson going on. See Melvin and his pitching expertise going on down there. I believe the Melvin Press Pitching Clinic is available if you need that. And looking at some of our other sports, cross country, sport you don't hear a lot about, but let's look at their schedule here. I'm a cross country coach at Dixon myself. The John Marshall Invitational on the 31st this weekend. The 7th is the Southwest Missouri Invitational. SWCCA. That is high. That is caught. That is out number 1. Beautiful catch on the play. And then the Hermitage Cross Country Invitational. We'll be seeing the Tigers on that. That's a Saturday, but unfortunately I will not be there. Following that, the Cuba Invitational on October 2nd, October 5th, the Camdenton Invitational at Ha Ha Tonka. And then the Tigers will go to Licking on the 10th, the COC Conference Championship on the 19th, and the Waynesville District Warm-Up, which is a special one. Helps to not as long of a distance, but it's a great meet to get ready for. Then districts on the 2nd, state on the 9th. Girls tennis out there practicing today. Not a lot of home events they got going on this year. They start September 3rd against Willow Springs here at Waynesville. I would like to do a tennis match. I'm working on that. That's a goal this year. Then they travel to West Plains on the 12th to face Camdenton. Or they'll face Camdenton in West Plains. Not sure where that's at. Doesn't say specifically, but Lebanon on the 16th here at home. The Republic Tournament on the 20th. Then they will face Jeff City and Capital City. I'm sure that's in Jeff City. Strike on the pitch. Or that's a walk. She will get the base. Then they will face Hillcrest somewhere that's not at Waynesville. Then they'll face Parkview here at home. They'll travel to Osage. Then they'll have the Waynesville tournament, which is a very good tournament, on October 4th. Then the 7th, they will host Rolla. And she's safe? She is safe. Not 100% sure on that one, but she is safe according to them. And then the following day, they'll have the COC tournament on October 8th. Looking at some high school volleyball, we do have a couple volleyball broadcasts that are also planned. As I mentioned earlier, they had the Jamboree in Rolla, which started. Foul ball. This is just below me. Didn't see where it went, but it is 2-1 for the count. So they'll start at Neosho, at Sullivan, and then they'll have their first home game on September 10th. Tigers will travel to Republic. They'll have the Hillcrest tournament. Which is a good tournament. I've been down there before. Then they'll go to Hillcrest 2 days later to play probably Hillcrest again. They'll have Willard at home. I believe that's one of the broadcast games that I had planned. At Parkview. They'll host Carthage and Nixa. Then they will have the Rolla Tri on the 28th. I'm not sure what teams are involved in that, but just a guess. Full count, by the way. There's going to be 3 teams. Then they'll travel to Kickapoo. They'll go to the Rolla tournament, another good volleyball tournament. That ball's loose. She is able to score. Ball is still bouncing around. Eventually, we're going to wind up with another base runner and another score. 7-0 now. Didn't update the board, but it is 7-0. And then Lebanon will be at home on October 8th. The 10th, they'll travel back to Springfield to face Glendale. Then they'll host Osage and Central on the 14th and 15th, and they'll end their season at Ozark on the 17th in COC action. This will put a second runner on. Dead ball. Can't pass on a dead ball like that. We did not get the score on the board, but it doesn't matter a whole lot. On my board, it's on there. Then districts, depending on where they are, we might cover them. Last year we covered the districts at Waynesville. Had some pretty good viewership and pretty good volleyball playing. And looking ahead at boys soccer, they're going to host Carthage on the 3rd. They'll travel to the Boot Hill to Poplar Bluff on the 12th. They'll have Joplin and Catholic down at the Parkview tournament in Springfield on the 13th and 14th. The 14th, they will face Neosho. Then they'll host Webb City and Rolla in back-to-back home games on the 19th and 23rd. Then they'll have a short road trip to Republic. Then they'll have 3 more home games. Runners did advance just now. With Willard, Camdenton, and Nixa, then they will travel to Lakeway with Richland anyway. A bit of a freeze there for some reason, not sure what that was. Then they'll travel to Kickapoo, they'll host Lebanon, and they'll finish off with 1 home game on the 24th against Central, and a trip to Springfield, Ozark, and Capital City to end their season, with districts to be determined. We should know by Friday most of the districts and where we're going. And another Tiger's going to make it home here. And that'll make it 8-0. And again, 2 runners back on base. And still 1 out. need some caffeine pretty soon here. It's going to be a late night. That is off the Lady Tiger. Bases will be loaded. Runner from first advanced the pitch before to second. So a dinger here would probably end this inning. It was 6 to start. And that's a dead ball either way, so it is now 9. Okay, our math is definitely not jiving with what the scoreboard says. Still 1 out. And that is foul. Just out of view of the camera. I believe we had all of our fall sports accounted for there. Wait, we have swimming, don't we? Where is swimming? Is it boys or girls? I don't remember which one is in the fall. We got boys. It is boys in the fall, so no schedule for the girls yet. But on the September 3rd, we'll be at the All Relays. September 5th, they'll be at Seymour. The 7th, at Ozark Invitational. The 10th, they'll travel to Carthage. And back home, that's another run for the Tigers. I have lost track of base runners, and I have 10 runs, so we're going to stick with that. Still 1 out. Then we have Monette, Ozark, West Plains, Monette again, back to Carthage, back to Kickapoo, which is in Springfield, a COC meet, which I believe might also be in Springfield. Then the Springfield Invitational, which is at the same place in Springfield, and the Southwest Missouri Championships, which will also be at the same place in Springfield at the Natatorium. Then the Last Chance meet, not sure where that one is, but swimming is one of those sports where there's no districts. You are essentially competing for a qualifying time, which is something I would like to see in track one of these years. Maybe not for everybody, like you have your district qualifiers, but you leave 2 spots open for time qualifiers to move in, at least to the sectional round, and then that way you can, then they can compete for state. And the state meet November 14th and 15th. 1 and 2 count. Evening there, Mr. Mason Perez, if you're still joining us. And this thing is belted out there. That's going to bring in 1. Might brought in 2. That's a triple. And that will make it 11. I believe we're going to end it on that, so now it's time to say goodbye. Appreciate everyone. Have a great night. But we'll be back here in a little bit. We're going to have the Rolla Bulldogs coming out, warming up. They're going to face Cuba. Rolla will be home team, I believe. But either way, we'll find out. We'll be back. You're watching Allen Hilliard Sports on MSHSAA. And We are back. It is game number 2. Rolla is the visitors. Cuba is the home team. Rolla in the maroon. Cuba again in their black with white trim. That foul ball is going to remain foul.
Do they do that in ours?
Do what?
The baseball games?
Some of them. Haven't got baseball sorted out yet. And I believe we have been abandoned. We got 0 viewers right now for this game.
No one wants to watch Rolla.
But following this, be Rolla and Waynesville here.
Hey, do you got the app? You have the app to do the scoreboard? I'm downloading it. Right. What's the app called? Scoreboard. Let's check that out. Daft Or like Daft Score or something. Is it Daft Score?
Should go a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that Coach Malbach?
Yeah, if you want her.
Yeah, tell her I need her. It's important.
Coach Wobach.
Oh, she's right here. Coach Malbach, I got something important to talk to you about. You want to talk about softball? There's a charger right back here.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. Oh, it should be 2 outs, yeah. Still watching. Yay, we got a few more. Sorry about that. We're transitioning in here and transitioning scoreboard operators out there. But the Bulldogs have 2 so far across the plate. And a second in scoring position. And that sound you hear is an air conditioner because it is Missouri. So you need an air conditioner. That's your PSA. That is foul. Going to be out of play. And that'll bring up a 2-1 count. We're going to look at some scores for Rolla, why don't we? Go back to something they play them in, and maybe... I think soccer was one of them. Looking at the ladies softball Bulldogs here, see what we can... see what their schedule's looking like. First, we'll start with, I guess, the soccer team. This weekend they got the Rolla shootout on the 31st. They'll travel to Camdenton. Then they'll play DeSmet Jesuit at home. So a fairly new opponent. That's on a Saturday at noon. They'll play Bolivar at home. They'll play Pacific at home. They have the Hannibal Pirate Tournament on the 13th and 14th. Before Pacific. Runners on first and second. Then you have Catholic, Jeff City, both at home. Then on the road at Capital City, Waynesville, and Lakeway. So two of those not too long trips. Capital City, not terrible for Rolla. And this is to the shortstop. That is one. If I'm thinking that should be 3 outs. Is that not 3? Oh, that is only 2 outs, I guess. I could have swore that was 3. But anyways. Then they'll have the Lakers shootout October 4th and 5th. West Plains and Union both at home. Then they'll be on the road for a triple header. 11th, 12th, and 16th. Notre Dame, Cape Girardeau, Jackson, and Elias Catholic all on the road. Then they'll end their season at home against St. Francis Borgia. School out of Washington, so not too bad of a trip for St. Francis heading down. Runners on second and third. Ball is high. And looking at the football schedule, that is something that is very different this coming year. First off, they're going to play at Festus. Not the craziest thing. Keep with me. They got a trip to Hillcrest, another fairly normal opponent. Then they are playing Kelly on a Saturday at 11 a.m. So if you are interested, check out Rolla High School on September 14th. Bases are loaded now. At 11 a.m. for a varsity football game against Kelly. That should be a fun one. I'm not sure the atmosphere at 11 a.m. Then the next week, the 20th, they're going to be traveling to Mountain Home, Arkansas. About a 2.5-hour trip for them down across the southern border there. Then they will host North County. They'll travel to St. Mary's Southside. Been there. That's a beautiful facility. That's a 6 p.m. game. They'll host St. Dominique at 7 on the 11th. And then they will travel to Springfield Central to play the Bulldogs. No one moved. So squeeze play at any base coming out of this. If the ball gets in play in the anywhere in the diamond out there. And then they'll end their season against Parkview. We don't have the homecoming or senior night stuff, but I'm going to assume Parkview is senior night. At least that would be my guess. So, their schedule, a little bit crazy, a couple of them, but not too terrible. Now, travel-wise, it's actually not bad compared to the Waynesville Tigers schedule. Now, looking at the fall softball, because they do not play in the spring, they're going to start this weekend with the Union Tournament, St. Elizabeth, St. Francis Borgia, and Crocker. The 3rd, they'll travel to Elias. They'll travel to Hickman on the 5th. They'll be at home against Lebanon in Battle. That ball fouled just in front of me. Then they'll travel to Capital City. They'll be at home against Hillcrest. They'll travel to Union. Then they will have some sort of shootout against Cape Central and Farmington, probably down in the Boot Hill. Then they'll travel to North County. 2 outs, bases loaded. Then they will host West Plains and New Bloomfield. They'll travel back here to Tigertown. And another run will come in. That's 3 runs for Rolla. 2 more and the inning's over. Then they'll have the Springfield tournament. Then they will travel to Camdenton. I forgot Sullivan in there at home. Then they'll have the Rolla softball tournament with Carthage, Parkway West, and Webster Groves. One of those other tournaments that, a very good tournament. Then, of course, we'll have Iberia at home to end their softball season. Then districts on the 16th, or that week of the 16th. Then we'll find out early next week who is in what district. We'll find out Friday, but really Monday is when we'll actually know. I love that background out there. With that kind of dark background and that tiger backdrop, that looks awesome. 2-1 count. Just 3-0, by the way, not 2-0. Scoreboard here says 2. As mentioned, tennis will be here at Waynesville. And while we're looking at some stuff, let's take a look at Cuba and see what Cuba's schedule is looking like. They're going to be a little different, playing a lot smaller schools. 2-2 count. I think our scoreboard guys have given up out there. You know what? Since we're in the fall mood, we're going to look at football first for the Cuba Wildcats, one of the small schools. First of all, Bulldogs will pick up 1, 2. And that will leave runners on 2nd and 3rd, a 5-run lead, and that's going to end the inning. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back after a word from some of our sponsors. You're watching Tiger Softball on Allen Hilliard Sports. We are back here, bottom of the 1st. Bulldogs run out the first half of the inning, literally run out with 5 runs to start this ball game. Bulldogs on the mound now at this beautiful facility here at Waynesville High School. But looking at the schedules for football here, continuing the football updates, Cuba, a very different team size-wise than Waynesville and Rolla. So their schedule is going to be almost different. Not quite. But they're going to start at Lynn. Lynn just starting football back up near Jefferson City. Then they're going to host Clever. Clever from Southwest Missouri. Been struggling a little bit, but I think they did move conferences this year. Then they're going to play Grandview out of Hillsboro, which I believe that is up near St. Louis area. And then they're going to travel to Jefferson Festus up in St. Louis. They're going to travel to Herculaneum. Then they'll travel back to Festus for a trip at St. Pius. Nope, they'll host St. Pius X. Then they'll go to St. Vincent, and then they'll go to Bayless. And then they'll end their season with senior night against Perryville. So Perryville, an opponent the Waynesville Tigers have played in the past when I was in high school. The Perryville Pirates. And then looking at their softball schedule, they appear to only be a fall softball team. A lot of the smaller schools will play fall and spring softball. But they're going to start their season on the 30th at Stoutland. Then they're going to have a game against Pacific and Lebanon on the 3rd and 4th. They'll travel to South Callaway and St. James on the 9th and the 16th. 17th, they'll be back home against Jefferson Festus. They'll host a tournament on the 21st. They'll be in the Richland tournament on the 28th. Then they'll host Herman on the 30th. Travel to Russellville and Dixon on the 2nd and 3rd of October. Then the 7th and 8th, they'll be at home for a little stretch against Owensville and Richland. And they will end their regular season on the road at St. Clair and Newburgh. So not too bad of a travel schedule for now Cuba, of course. They are closer to St. Louis, kind of in between. And that is a strike number 2. Good strikes down the middle. And looking at some of the other sports they have here, they do have high school volleyball. We'll take a look at their volleyball schedule. They had their Jamboree. They have it on the 29th, actually, which will be against... Good thing the net is right there. But they're going to have the Jamboree against Cuba, Lynn, Mexico, and St. James. We'll be live on Thursday for the Dixon Jamboree against Plato and Bell. Lions and Bulldogs and Eagles, oh my. And this is going to get out. Cuba's going to advance the runner. 1st and 3rd now after that. And there is one out that I did miss earlier. Apologize for that. I am probably not paying that much attention to the game. I left my scorebook in the car. That's my excuse. Then they'll be in the Owensville Quad on September 7th against North County, Owensville, and the Licking Wildcats from the Frisco League. They'll travel to Bourbon on the 10th. They'll host Viburnum and Bell on the 12th and 17th. They'll travel to Kingston on the 19th. They'll have their home tournament on the 21st. They'll travel, then they're going to have a long road stretch from the 23rd to October 8th. We'll talk about that in a minute, but Cuba is going to pick up a run here. And that will advance the runner on first. Runners on 1st and 2nd, still one out. It is 5-1, and our scoreboard operator is falling asleep again down there. But they're going to have a trip to Lynn, Bell, St. James, Stillville, Dixon, and Viburnum. This is up. It is out of play behind the safety net. Then they'll have their Bell. They'll host Grandview. Then they'll have the Bell Volleyball Tournament. And they'll end the season with senior night against the Stillville Lady Cardinals. And runners at 1st and 2nd here. 5-1. We still have one more game to go. Waynesville and Rolla. Force out. Can they get the out? We have one. I believe we are safe at 1st. 2nd was not safe. That'll bring up out number 2. So they are one out away from ending this inning, leaving 2 stranded. Bats are coming out pretty much on fire here for Cuba. They did get some pretty good hits against the Tigers, but left them stranded all 3 times. And that is a strike. Runner returns back to base. So if you are not doing anything, swing on by to Dixon, Missouri, and check out the volleyball jamboree. I believe at 5 or 5:30 when it starts. Get to watch the excitement of the... She is safe over there, just off camera. Get to watch the excitement of the Bulldogs, Tigers, and the Eagles. And 2 strikes now, 0-2 count, 2 outs, runners on the corners. And again, we want to give a special thanks to Security Bank of Pulaski County. And that is strike 2. 0-1 count before, I apologize. Also, the Dixon School District for all their support, being a main sponsor, and Waynesville Youth Football. That is strike number 3. And we're going to take a break. We'll be back for the top of the second. You're watching time for round number 2 for the Bulldogs. We're going to do some looking here at championships, what some of these teams have had in the past. Looking first at the Waynesville Tigers, of course. They have had 1 Final Four appearance under Rick Vernon, who is here in the stadium, as I mentioned earlier. If there's a game going on, you will find a Rick Vernon in that crowd. But he's the old football coach here, counselor, and helped many students. Probably helped some students' grandkids at some point since he started his 30-year career. Looking at some championships these schools have had. Waynesville, 2007 state football champions. And looking at basketball, they have not won the state title, but they have been there 4 times. Most recently, 1985, Carl Wilking, member of the football team currently, and Rick Vernon's staff, was a member of that. They took 3rd place that year. And then 1951 and 53, both of those teams took 2nd and 3rd in Class B, which I believe was medium class back then, and then they took 3rd place in the overall state championship in 1946. So a lot of football right there. And we have 1 out to start this inning. Now looking at track and field, that is where the championships really start to come in play for the Tigers. Under Coach Jack Crawford, he had 2 Class 3 championships. This is foul off to the left side of me. And left side of you if you're watching. I think it's left side. In 1974 and then 1983, and then they had a 2nd and a 4th place finish. 1984, they followed up that championship with another trip to the Final Four there, placing in the Final Four. No one on base for Rollo right now. And then 2008, a 4th place finish. That's the same group that won that football state title. And then looking at the girls, in 1978, they took 4th in Class 2. They were the Class 3 champions in 1979. In 1981, they was the Class 4 2nd place team. So the numbers don't always make sense with MSHSAA, so just ignore 3 and 4 sometimes. And they were 2nd place in 84 and 86. And then they were 4th place in 1987. That's the last time the girls have a podium finish up at state. Sorry about that. But they have had many conference championships in that time period. And this is to the... I believe she is out. So that is 2 down. Much better performance here for the Wildcats in this half inning. But that is going to go right back into another base runner after that. That'll put runners at first and second. Now we are going to look at the Rolla Bulldogs and see some of their championship. They have quite a few. That's a long foul ball. Everyone's going to have to go back where they came from on that. All the way back to second base. First and second base. But boys basketball, 1955, the last time they made it to state. Took third place in Class A. So there may have only been 2 classes that year. And that's going to be an out. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back afterward from some of our sponsors. You're watching Waynesville Tiger Softball and Allen Hilliard Sports. Yeah. Back here, it is bottom of the second. Cuba is at bat. They are the home team. Now, a couple years ago, the Rolla Lady Bulldogs made it to second place in state before falling to the state champion Washington.
Did you guys unplug the swivel? Are you doing the swivel? I'm doing it. All right.
And that is out over at first. That is out number 1. That was a very good play on there to shield that ball. But Rolla began after winning the district title, facing a Webb City team in 9 innings, beat them 10-9. Then they traveled to. Then they played Incarnate Word, who they defeated 9-4 before falling to Washington in the state championship. Incarnate Word would eventually fall to 4th place in that. One and one count. Rolla also has state finals in 1993 in boys soccer. 4th place, I believe. That is the year, close to the year, Waynesville founded their soccer team. And they have 2 4th place finishes in 03 and 21 for girls golf. And they have 2 2nd place finishes back-to-back so far for boys golf, 24 and 2023. And then they took 3rd and 22. So they are on a 3-year streak right now on the boys side in the golf things. Before that, it goes all the way back to 1982. And then boys basketball, the last time they were once again in the finals, it was the Class A 3rd place, I'm assuming 3rd place game. They defeated Maplewood Richmond Heights 64-48. Joplin would win that game 47-44. That is before, I believe, the split of the 2 Joplin schools, before they had Memorial and Parkwood. But just a fun fact here, let's see, the very first state softball championship was won by Duchesne 14-5 in 1976 over the Fatima Comets. That is when MSHSAA implemented most of the girls' sports they have. We're going to take a short break here real quick while we have a visit to the mound. Well, you're taking a chance to. And the second softball championship ever, the Crocker Lady Lions were 2nd place. Hazelwood West defeated Crocker. They were 1 class back then. Things have changed a lot here in sports. And apparently there's no record of the 1979 season. And then the Richland Bears made it to the quarterfinals in 1979. So back then they played, I'm assuming, in the spring. Now you can play fall or spring. Or you could do both, depending on your preference. Cuba's got runners at first and second. And we still got one more game to go after this. It'd be Waynesville and Rolla. Then Thursday night, check out Dixon Volleyball live on Allen Hilliard Sports. Then Friday night, check out Tiger TV as they bring you the Battle of the Tigers, #1 for the year. There's 6 of them as the Carthage Tigers come to town. And we are going to load the bases after that. And then our first broadcast of football official game will be against the Republic Tigers. So Battle of the Orange Tigers in that ball game. So bases loaded, 2 outs. And that will give us an automatic run. And we're going to have a short discussion here. We're going to see if this is a long-term discussion or if this is what's going on here. But we're also going to have some Tiger baseball later this year. Still waiting on them to approach me about that, but I'm sure they want some Tiger baseball done at some point. But we do have Lady Tigers softball, as always, coming to you. Almost all their home games. She's going to be, I could have swore she was hit right there, but maybe seeing something. Could have hit the ground first also. Then it is not a hit. Ooh. That is 2-0 now. That one inside. And is she out safe? Well, she was tagged on the head over there. I did not get the video of it, but he had the back angle. I did not have the angle of the bag, so she is ruled safe. So now we're going to have a discussion about it just off to the side there. The real angle is behind, so she might have been on that bag or touching the bag. But the way the coach is looking, he did not have confidence in that decision. No bases thrown, so we are all still good. I don't know if you could actually take these bases out anyway. And this is hit over. That's out, and that will end the inning. Field, I don't know if it has a name, actually. But we're at the softball field here at Waynesville High School. The Lady Tiger Softball Complex. Also, another one of our football sponsors this year is Bank of Crocker. Been around since 1911, I believe. They have many locations throughout Pulaski County. Member FDIC and proud supporter of area sports. feel like there's not 2 outs on the board.
Oh. Yeah.
There we go. I was thinking something wasn't right there. Someone's trying to
I forgot to clear it.
shorten something up here. But we will still have a bottom of the 3rd either way. Whatever happens. Rallo will get a base runner. And I do apologize about the video. It does not look that bad on my end. It is not my issue. Wait for everything to clear up here, and I think we're about ready to go. She is safe. That ball is not caught. And she's going to score on this. That will give Rala the 6th run of the ball game. That's going to be a steal and an error. And I'm going to assume just 2 more stolen bases after that. Not sure how that would be scored, but there's at least 1 steal and 1 error in there. And then we're just going to have another extra base to throw in for some toppings on that thing. And this is hit down the middle. That's just a single, though. Good play on the defensive side, 6-2. And we're gonna have a visit from Melvin Respress again with the Melvin Respress Softball Academy. Be sure to get a hold of him for your pitching, all your pitching needs and instructions. He will surely take care of you for all those. It is 0-1, runner on first. Bulldogs have a run off an error earlier in this inning, and they're going to pick up a base here. This time the ball will stay in the diamond at least. Sarala, a very quick team. They can get a lead and they can really just keep it. Looking for that throw to third this time. She didn't go for the steal. And that ball is a wild pitch. That'll make it 3-1. I would say this is a chance to just hit the ball wherever you want, but you don't want to hit it to where your second baseman is out. And that's going to bring up another base runner. Air conditioner here looks like it's having sounds like it's having a heart attack tonight. Pitch off the ground. That will advance both runners to the nearest base. And again, a hitter's count, 2-0. You know, I talk about with coaches all the time. This has to be the prettiest field in Waynesville here. I mean, they maintain this grass perfectly. I don't know how they do it. They get that just different green color when they mow it and everything. And it's always perfectly painted in the outfield. Count 3-1. So a runner or a ball will load the bases, and that's what we have done. So 4 runners on. The Indian runner is at the home plate to end the inning, but we still will have the bottom of the inning no matter what. Cuba is the home team, but even if they were up, we would still play the bottom. Runners still on all 4 corners. Bases loaded. 1-1 count. Did you know you could be the Waynesville Tigers season sponsor for baseball if you wanted to? Doesn't that sound fun? Of course, we have Security Bank, our football sponsor, and our softball and soccer sponsor. Security Bank of Pulaski County, all your banking needs at 2 convenient locations now. One Waynesville, one in St. Robert. The original location in Waynesville, a very beautiful facility if you've never been inside there. And 2-2 count, bases still loaded. 3-2 count. So full count, bases loaded. Oh. Are we going to, was it only 3? Oh. Never mind. A little bit of confusion there. And that will give Rolla the automatic run. So 7-2 now. 3 more and this inning is over. They are using the 5-run rule per inning here. Also free substitutions. So coming up on our broadcast schedule the rest of the week, the Dixon Volleyball Jamboree with Bell, Dixon, and Plato. And then we're going to have what is it, a Satenta something? I don't know, a 6-game header, I guess. But we're going to have the Cowboys and Eagles face off at 9. Then around 10, we're going to have Spartans, Wolverines. An hour later, Chiefs and Knowles. Black Knights and Ravens. Then we'll have the Wildcats and Broncos. We're going to end with a wild one with the Warriors and Tiger Frogs in the K2 division there of that bracket there. So if you've never watched a kindergarten football game, it is something special to see. If you've never seen a kindergartner take off on an 80-yard touchdown run, it feels like they're running 100 yards. Actually, they are running 100 yards, but it looks a lot longer with them. And it is fun to watch. Or you can go in person, check those games out down at the Waynesville Middle School. Next week, our schedule will be the Dixon Lady Bulldogs on September 3rd on Tuesday. They will face Calvary Lutheran out of Jefferson City for some, I believe, we're going to have some runs brought in here. I think we have 9, and I think I'm right. And that's an out. I am right. Look at that. Almost paying attention. That's high school fall baseball. Looks like we're going to have on... Nope. Never mind. Hold on. It is high school fall baseball. So we'll have Calvary Lutheran. I believe they're the Lions. That will be, I believe, around a 4 o'clock game on September 3rd. Then on Thursday, we'll have Waynesville, Webb City, some softball action, Tigers and Cardinals. And then we'll have the Tigers and Tigers in Republic at the beautiful Republic football facility. And this is going to fall. Runners able to go back to second. No one scored. And then, of course, we'll have WYF football. Following week, we're going to have Dixon versus Lakeway softball on September 10th. We're going to have middle school football now. We do have a change of schedule on September 12th. I do not know the opponent for that yet. I have not put that in there, but we will have middle school football. And then we'll have, I believe that'll be it till September 17th. So we'll probably fit something in the schedule on there. We'll make something work out of that. 9-2 right now. Bases loaded. One more run will end the inning. That is a strike, 1-1 count. And 2-1, that was just high. Now, if you are coming to football Friday night, they're looking at a thundery forecast, so bring yourself some rain gear if you're heading out here to Tiger Town. And that will end the inning. That's going to bring in 1, 2, and 3, so 12-2. And with that, we're going to take a break. 12-2, Bulldogs on top. We'll be back after these messages from Allen Hilliard Sports. Following this, we'll have a brief intermission. Then we'll have the Rolla Bulldogs and Waynesville Tigers face off. And did not catch the bag on that, so we're going to start off with the hit by Cuba. Cuba in the black and yellow. Lady Bulldogs in the maroon. And of course the Tigers are in the orange. Did you know on Allen Hilliard Sports on YouTube, you can watch every video that has not been posted yet, except for a couple, for a small membership fee. They will all still be free, but, for example, these games will be tacked on during November. We're going to have a... Not sure what was going on there. 1 and 2 count. Foul ball. One person we don't have this year is our buddy Connor over there. Listen, our KJPW radio broadcaster, obviously they are no longer here. That's a strikeout due to some corporate decisions there. He's now down in Park Hills, Missouri. Do appreciate him for finishing up the baseball season for me and helping out. Did an excellent job. That is foul. That is a strike down the middle. And did you know we are only a month away now from heater season? So make sure your furnaces are all serviced. That is almost caught to second, I believe. She is out at second though. Kind of drug her body to keep on the base. That is out number 2. So we are 1 out away from finishing this ball game. And Rolla doing a very good job to close out this inning here. I wouldn't call that a squeeze play. That was just a good defensive play. Is a strike right there. 0-2 count. 1 pitch away from ending this. Just a little bit high. 1-2. And that'll do it. That is out number 3. That's our final score here. It is Rolla 12, Cuba 2. Thank you for joining us. Stick around. In about 15 minutes, we'll be back for the Tigers and Bulldogs. We will see you then. And we are back here. It is... Tigers are going to get on base first. We got to fix this, by the way. Got a change in teams real quick. But again, thank you for joining us here on Allen Hilliard Sports. Waynesville is the visitors this time. seeing the behind the scenes of what goes on. Basketball and stuff is so much easier, you just don't change it. This one kind of depends on who the home team is, who the away team is. And the Tigers all the way to third already to start this off. And good pitch by Rala on that. These two teams will play each other again in softball. They usually do. Now, softball in Waynesville has not been around super long, maybe 20 years or so. Probably less than 20 years, actually. It was until the 80s, and then it just disappeared for whatever reason back then. Probably interest, things like that. That's why you always want to try to keep numbers in sports. 2-2 count. That is fouled almost to the tennis courts. And Tigers on first and third on the corners. I do not have rosters, unfortunately. I apologize for that. I was hoping there'd be rosters, but there was not. And Tigers both will advance. One will pick up a score. The other will advance on the base on the passed pitch. Waynesville quickly up 1-0 in the contest. Wind up down the middle. That is tipped. Might have been tipped. Very good pitch right there. And again, she is out. But runner will advance from the sacrifice. That's the first out of the ball game for the Tigers. Appreciate everyone for joining us tonight here. Security Bank, our supporter of Waynesville Tiger softball, foul into the net. Also, our Friday football night sponsor for the away games. Also, check out Tiger TV here. All student-run broadcast, produces pretty much the whole thing. Multiple camera broadcast, an amazing program at Tiger Waynesville. Where I learned to do some of the stuff I could do now. If you do want to help out with some of the stuff I do, feel free to get a hold of me. I do have some plans this summer. I got some Arena League football again, so that's going to be a strike number 2. Runner. They have 2 on the board for Waynesville. I only had 1, but I'm not sure if that's right or not. I might have missed it. It happens. Of course, we'll have highlights over the next few days of this game also. Tomorrow, that is back into the net once again. Nearly on her head there. She backed up a little bit. 0-2 count. Could this be the last pitch of the first inning? Or the top of the first? And she is safe. Now she's out. But the runner, I believe, was safe. So we're going to take a break. A word from some of our supporters. We'll be back after this. You're watching Lady Tigers softball. And back here, that is fair, I believe. So we're going to lead off with a double here by the Lady Bulldogs on that. Powerful hit, just fair. And looks like Missouri will have an home football opener on Thursday. I'm curious who they're playing that day. Also, the Kansas City Chiefs trophy will be there. You would like to see that. You can have your picture taken with it between gates 1 and 2E on Thursday, starting at 5:30 through the first quarter of the game. And the Tigers coming in ranked number 11 in the country, which is amazing. The score was taken off of the Tigers. I am pretty sure they should have had that score at home, but I'm going to take it off of mine, I guess. I'm not the official scorer there. Rala is going to walk in with this and worked her way from around second and made her way on a steal to home. Last time the Missouri Tigers were ranked in the preseason poll was 2015 when they was 24th. So being in the SEC and ranked 11th is pretty impressive. Also, Allen Hilliard Sports, proud supporter of the Missouri State Bears. We'll try to get some Bears coverage this year as always. And the Missouri S&T Miners. Be sure to check out both of those programs. Excellent universities. And that will be a walk. Runners on first and second now. No outs for Rala. Rala trails by 1. Good job by the catcher, preventing that ball from going too far away, keeping the Bulldogs at bay right now. Just dropped to a lovely cool 82 degrees right now. By lovely and cool, I mean humid and Missouri cool. But it's not 95 degrees and humid, so much better than what it was. Runners will advance on that one, though. Anyways, I'm not looking at the weather for right now. I'm looking ahead at seeing what our forecast is going to look like for Friday night. And it's looking fun. We're going to have 1 run score. We're going to have 2. She's safe. So Rolla will take a lead. 3-2 now. Bulldogs on top. And, well, we're talking 89 during the day. But partly cloudy with afternoon showers. Winds light and variable. Chance of rain 60%. Thunderstorms during the evening. That's going to be a fun one. So 0 outs, Rolla on top, 3-2. Foul ball. That is caught just out of range of the camera. And that is out number 1. Beautiful catch into the fence. And the mic behaving so much better than it did. Ball is loose, and we are loaded on the bases now. Rollo will score on that, that'll make it 4. My Amazon packages are not behaving themselves. And there ain't no way this thing's gonna be here tomorrow. But anyways, another walk after that, so we're gonna have a mound visit. We're gonna take a visit here. Well, you get a chance to check out Security. A little cheer up, calm down, it's alright type conversation. One more run will end the inning. These two teams will play each other again, but that's a good conversation to have, especially two opponents like this that know each other very well. That is foul. That is out of play, though. That'll bring up a 1-2 count. Bases are still loaded. And the runner will score, but that's going to end the inning. We're going to take a break. We'll be back after these messages. It is 5-2 after 1. And back here, it is top of the second. Tigers are the visitors. First pitch is a strike. Fast pitch. This air conditioner's starting to get kind of cold. I like the orange on it compared to mine. It has green. The green can be kind of bright. Foul ball, that is up, out of bounds, behind the press box. Not sure where that went, but I went up and back. So no outs. No one on base right now. And that is a strike. Out number 1. Both these teams defeated Cuba. So now this is the game to kind of see who's going to be the top coming out of the preseason. But this is a good time to really test your players and see who you can throw in there. And right now, Rawa's got a pitcher that is pitching very well. Tuesday, 75 and partly cloudy for that broadcast. Thursday the 5th, 82 and mostly sunny. Then for Friday night, 59 degrees for the low, so we're going to have a lovely cool fall day for that away game. Gotta love those fall nights there, Friday night football. Also softball. And baseball, of course. Of course, we'll have baseball on Tuesday and softball on Thursday. And 2 strikeouts in a row now. And again, thank you everyone for watching here. That ball is going to be thrown. Well, it's going to go back to the third baseman, shortstop area. And the Tigers will get on base. Now, I'm not quite sure. I'm going to test something maybe on the weekend. I'll see how my YouTube streams look. But honestly, if they look a lot better than this, then I may just stick with YouTube for now, but let me know what you think. I could always upload the YouTube later to the MSHSAA TV and play it, so that might be my secondary option. But we will see what happens. YouTube does look better overall. That is out number 3, so just like that. That first pitch is high. That is ball number 1. These two teams, of course, no stranger to each other, former conference opponents, and just generally opponents for years. So 2 pitches, 2 balls. I'm going to imagine this one's going to be placed right down the middle or in the corner. And it's going to be hit pretty close to that area. Got a pitcher warming up, it looks like, so we're going to have a new... we might have a new Lady Tiger pitcher coming in eventually. Talking to Malbach during the interviews there, and she did mention they did have some depth in the pitcher position. So I imagine we may try to see some of that. Just depends on how much they're really going to show during the Jamboree. That ball's away, so that's going to be a base runner. That's walk number 1 for the inning. 2-1 count. This is belted. I mean, that is against the wall. That will bring home 1. Oh, camera did some weird stuff. And just like that, it is 6 runs now for Rolla. And a runner on second. I think she got... Oh, alright. That is out, I believe. It's a good play for the Lady Tigers. Runner did advance. Out number 1 here in the second. After this, 1 more inning to go of the Jamboree, and it has been a fun one. And that brought in the runner on base and replaced her at first. 7-2 now. Rolla leading by 5. And that was out. Runner did stay on base. It's a good catch for out number 2. And that is a strike swinging right there. Nearly straight down the middle. That ball's away to second. She is safe. So looking at the force at third, back to second, or getting the out on first, but they're going to give up the third base, so now she has nowhere to go but home. We'll see if they can take advantage of this, make this a 8-score ball game. They will not. That will be the end of the third. Or into the second. We'll be out for the third after these messages. And top of the third here, it is back softball time. That pitch is able to be saved. No one on base to take advantage of that if it did get away. Two and 0 count. And 3-1 count now. 3-2 count. We are full. No one on, the first batter of the inning. And that is going to drop. That's going to be at least a double. And Tigers will get the leadoff batter on base here in the third inning. And just off screen, the base runner will advance. Tiger in scoring position. They can tie this game. I don't know if they can win the game, but they can tie the game. And a home. It is safe. Tigers with 3. No one protecting second after that. No outs. Tigers with a runner in scoring position again. Tigers have a runner on second. Second pitch is a strike swinging. I wonder if her instructions were to swing as hard as you can and belt that thing. We'll see what her third pitch is. That's going to be inside. That's a ball. It's a really good speed with this pitcher from the Rolla side of town. But that'll be strikeout number 1 for the inning. That is foul. So 0-1 count. Over to third. She is safe. She beat the throw by far. Back to home. Safe at home. Tigers 3 runs from tying it. Waynesville holding their own here, just like football. Doing a great job in this Jamboree. That pitch outside. 0-1 count. Let's look up the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's see how they did today. Well, that didn't go well today. Cardinals falling 2 games under 500, so they're going to be struggling to get in the playoffs. They were 10 games a day or so ago. They're probably 11 or 12 now. Runner makes her way to second. Still 1 out. It's just like that. Another Tiger in scoring position. Things can change very quickly. Is out at first, safe at third, so sacrifice to advance the runner. And the Tigers with 2 outs now. This will be their final chance in the game to tie the game up. And I believe she is... I thought she was hit, but I guess not. Padres did beat the Cardinals 7-5 today. A new low attendance at 27,224. That is still better than a couple. Couple of the teams, sorry, getting tired here. And this is to the pitcher, no throw. They're going to call that a foul ball. And a quick discussion there. We are back to the ball game. Some other scores going on right now. It is bottom of the 6th, foul ball. Bottom of the 6th, Tigers over the Angels, 6-2. Royals over the Guardians, 5-1, top of the 7th. They're in the playoffs, or they should make them. Braves, bottom of the 10th, 8-6 right now. That game in extra innings. And then middle of the 8th, 8-4. Rockies over Marlins. Bottom of the 5th, scoreless. Mariners and Rays. And that will do it there. Rala is on June 26th. And basically when they resumed it a few weeks later, or 2 months later, that is out. So out number 1. He played on the other team, so Jansen played on the Red Sox the second time, Blue Jays the first time. Anyways, kind of a cool little story I found. That is 2 outs. We are down to our last out here. And again, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Security Bank of Pulaski County. Thank you, all of our other sponsors. Again, we'll be back with baseball. Oh, we got Dixon broadcast Thursday. We still got more this week. We got WYF football. That's a foul. So the WYF will be on Saturday. But anyways, thank you for joining us here. It's been a pleasure. Again, thank you Dixon School District and WIF Football for being some of our main sponsors. And that will do it here. That's the final. So 7-4. Again, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure. You're watching Allen Hilliard Sports on MSHSAA TV and YouTube. We'll see you Thursday now for the Dixon Volleyball Jamboree. Have a great night. Remember, be safe. Have fun.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left